You don't own your life anymore. You lease it. And every month the rent goes up. Our entire system is rigged to keep people financially trapped, not just through rising costs and stagnant wages, but through intentionally designed financial traps like subscriptions, hidden fees, and the monetization of basic survival. No matter how hard you work, you're still falling behind, and it's not by accident. It's a business model. Stick around. Once you see it, it can't be unseen. The real trap is that you don't just pay to live, you pay to exist. And you might not even realize how deep it goes. Now, obviously, I'm no financial expert, but I don't think I need to be because even I can see the scam here. Okay. We don't own anything anymore. You don't buy a product, you rent access to it. And when you stop paying, it's gone. Remember when you could just like buy Microsoft Office, right? One payment and you owned it forever. Yeah, sure, it came on a floppy disk the size of a Pop Tart, but at least you weren't paying rent on Microsoft Word. Now they want you on a payment plan to use Office like it's a damn Netflix subscription. Oh, another subscription. Okay, so what's next, right? Monthly payments for the calculator app? They figured out they can charge us forever, and now everything works like this. You want to listen to music? You used to own albums, cassettes, CDs, whatever. Now, if you stop paying for Spotify or Apple Music, your library's gone. It's not yours, it's just borrowed access. You were renting permission to listen, right? Movies are the same thing. It used to be simple. You bought it, it was yours. Now you license it digitally, and if a company decides you don't get to have it anymore, too bad, so sad, they can just remove it from your library. You paid for access, not ownership. Cable, that was already overpriced, so they fixed it by making you pay for multiple streaming services instead. Now, instead of one absurd bill, you have like 6 smaller ones that somehow add up to even more. Every little convenience, every tiny bit of modern life, someone has found a way to slap a subscription on it. And let's not forget the biggest subscriptions of all, the ones we barely even question anymore. Amazon, I'm looking at you. You're paying for the privilege of shopping. Remember when free shipping was just free? Now it's a yearly membership. Sports, forget about just watching a game. You need a subscription to 4 different services just to follow your team. And even then, they'll still black out local games for reasons that make no damn sense. Home internet. You don't just pay for service, you have to rent the router too. Buy a video game, you'll need a subscription just to play it. Cloud storage, that's a subscription. Do you want to keep your files, your photos, all the pictures of your family? Well, you got to pay rent on that. And if you stop, I hope you didn't have anything important in there. Home security, sure, buy the cameras, but if you don't keep up with your subscription, they basically just turn into expensive little bricks that are stuck to your walls. And hey, what about YouTube here? Sure, you can watch for free, but if you actually want to hang out with your favorite creators, support their work, or get bonus content, that's a subscription. I mean, it's an incredible, life-changing, laughter-filled subscription that brings joy, wisdom, and possible immortality. I have one. You should totally join. But even when you can buy something outright, they still try to sell you a subscription, don't they? Get the best price when you subscribe. Because apparently the only way to get a fair deal is to commit to paying for the rest of your life. Everything has turned into a subscription. You don't own anything. You just get temporary access to it. You don't buy, you rent. You don't pay once, you pay forever. And that's exactly how they want it. But you know what's even scammier? It's the ones that you don't even remember you're still paying for. I just found out the hard way to the tune of $450. I did what I was supposed to do right when I was laid off. I went through my budget. I cut out all the extra stuff, canceled the little luxuries, no more streaming services, no more random monthly subscriptions. All right, all gone. But as a side note, let's be real. Cutting out luxuries isn't going to solve your money problems. I mean, really, tell that to the person who can barely afford the necessities, let alone luxuries. I'm talking about the people who are deciding between health insurance or rent this month, not whether they can afford a $5 coffee. It's not about luxuries, it's about survival, and no amount of sacrifices will make the price of living go down when the system keeps hiking everything up. Okay? They don't want you to own anything because the second you own something, you're free. They want you hooked, dependent, and paying in perpetuity. And the best part, they sell it like it's progress, like renting everything forever is somehow a convenience for you. Which brings me to my own little financial nightmare. A year ago, when I was first setting up my new life, I signed up for a service to sell some courses that I was making, right? I paid for a full year because, it saved me like 40%. So in my head, I'm thinking, cool, a discount makes total sense. Spoiler alert, it did not. It did not make sense because that year just ended and boom, $450 was yanked from my account for something I haven't even used in 6 months. They didn't send me an email saying, hey, Joker, we're about to charge you some big monies. Remember us? Nothing. No email, no call, no nothing. Now here's where it gets fun. I try to log in so that I can cancel and maybe get a refund. I can't log in. Okay, no big deal. I'll reset my password, except the password reset button doesn't work. Okay, fine. I'll just use my texting device as a talking device and I'll call support, right? The email they sent literally says, questions, call this number. So I called that number. I shit you not, the little voicemail says, we're no longer accepting incoming calls at this number. Log in to get support. Are you freaking kidding me? I can't log in. Nothing works. I have spent 2 days trying to figure things out and get help. 2 freaking days. So now I'm trapped in this ridiculous loop where I can't cancel, can't reach a human, and my only option is just to accept that they took my money? Nope. I did what any reasonable person would do. I started emailing every permutation of email address I could think of. Support, billing, info, help, sales. Hell, I would have emailed the CEO if I thought it would work. I filed a dispute with my bank. That's going to take a month. A month. And the worst part, this happens all the time. All the time. It's not an accident. It's designed this way. These companies count on you forgetting so that they can autopilot charge your card. They make canceling a full-time job. No phone number, no customer service, no exit. Just endless billing cycles. And that is why subscriptions aren't just a scam, they're a trap. Now, I can't be the only one that this has happened to, right? What is the worst subscription that you forgot about until it hit your bank account? And how impossible was it to cancel? I'm curious. Drop your horror stories in the comments, please. So, they don't just trap you into paying for the things that you need, right? They sell you the burnout, then they sell you the cure. This is the scam. The same system that's breaking you is the one that's trying to sell you relief. Taking care of yourself used to be automatic. You slept, you ate, you went outside and touched some grass when things started feeling weird. Simple. No planning, no budgeting, no guilt. But now, oh no, they are trying to make taking care of yourself a premium feature. And if you can't afford it, well, too bad, so sad for you. Self-care has become a luxury, not just because the wellness industry has hijacked it, but because basic well-being costs money. Never mind the abundance of subscriptions that are being peddled in the name of self-care, because that's the trick, right? They don't just charge you for survival, they charge you for relief. The worse you feel, the more you'll pay to fix it. And if you don't spend money on taking care of yourself, well, then obviously you're doing it wrong. They've convinced us that self-care is all about spa days and skincare routines. But real self-care, that's being able to see a doctor before something gets worse. It's being able to fix your teeth before you start yanking them out yourself. It's being able to afford therapy when you're struggling instead of just pushing through. Eating well has become only for the financially stable. Good God, healthy food has gotten so expensive that it's cheaper to just eat garbage. And sure, people love to talk about meal prepping and just cook at home like it's some kind of financial cheat sheet code. But you've seen grocery store prices. I could drop $50 on fresh produce that lasts me 3 days, or buy a month's worth of frozen dinners and mystery meat hot dogs. Guess which one my bank account votes for? Healthy eating has become a financial privilege. Even basic hygiene is starting to feel expensive. Deodorant, shampoo, soap, don't even get me started on tampons. Somehow everything is getting pricier, and now we have entire industries convincing us that if we're not using a 20-step skincare routine, we're basically failing at life. At the risk of sounding like an old lady talking of days gone by, everything that used to be basic, food, health, rest, has become a financial hurdle. And the real scam, the same system that's breaking you is the one that's selling the cure. I just can't get over it. It's like pushing someone into traffic and then charging them for the ambulance ride. Sorry, that was funny in my head. If just existing costs this much, what is the price tag on getting ahead? No, really. Really, I'd love to see the payment plan on that one. I'm not here to compare struggles, okay? I know my situation isn't the same as someone making minimum wage their whole life. So when I say the system is broken, I'm not just saying that as someone who's always struggled. I'm saying that as someone who thought they had escaped it. And if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. At the end of the day, surviving shouldn't be a premium feature. Stability shouldn't be a luxury upgrade. And yet here we are, getting billed for just existing. So yeah, we're caught in a system where even breathing feels like an expense. And the one thing that's supposed to help us cope is just another product to buy. The wellness industry turns self-care into another hustle. But what if we stopped chasing the next overpriced remedy and started reclaiming real care? What would it look like to prioritize ourselves without the price tag? I'm diving into that next, because if you think self-care is about taking a break, you're missing a huge part of the equation. And trust me, the truth about why it's not working for you is something you need to hear, and I'm going to get into that in this next video.